Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome to the Oh My Goodness podcast. My name is AJ Smith, the Joy Weaver, and I am excited for today. We are diving into what to do when you're just like, it all feels like a lot. I don't have the motivation. I'm feeling just off. Like, what are the tactical tools, ideas, tips that you can try out that I have either tried and have worked for me, or I've heard other people have tried and loved so that you can get an idea? Because so often we're like, I need to fix all of it. I need to do all of it, but we don't know where to start. So I'm going to give you multiple ideas. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Try it out. If you're like, that won't work for me, pause and be like, is it because you've tried this before? And if so, sometimes we've tried things back in a different season and they'll work now. Or is it because you're like, hey, I'm not wired that way, but actually this other thing could work, right? So like change, shift, however you need, use it as that, right? So that's my disclaimer for this whole episode is a tools podcast built for me. As an ADHD girl, I've been collecting tools and ideas for longer than I even knew. I just thought everybody struggled this hard with life. Turns out no, but also the world is a lot. So turns out sort of yes, right? Okay. First off, lower the bar. We've talked about this previously on the podcast, but we're just going to kick it off with that. Because if we keep thinking we've got to accomplish everything on our podcast and then some, we're going to be screwed. We're going to be exhausted. We're going to be frustrated, burnt out, and resentful. When we're resentful and when we're bitter, we make choices that don't feel in alignment with our souls because it's clouding our thoughts. It's like crunching our hearts and it's getting more weary in our bones, right? We can all agree with that. So, with that said, why don't we set down the self hatred and the frustration for a minute and say, okay, just like breathe it out. Because when we let go of those really high expectations, then we can actually be like, what's realistic? What's doable? And if you're like, yeah, but I should be doing XYZ, cool, great, great. But you're not. You're not. And I'm not saying that in like an asshole way. I'm just saying, like, here are the facts and the reality is you're like, I should be doing this and this and this and this and this. And yet you're not. So what's actually happening here? Remember, when we say what is reality, then we can bring awareness to our next step of change. But until we actually get here centered in real life of what's actually happening, we can't do anything. We can take actions, but there might not have the impact we wanted because they're not based in reality. They're based on what we think should be happening. Kraken? Okay. So when dolphins are training to jump over the bar goes on the floor of the aquarium. There's no way for the dolphin to swim under it because it's on the floor. So if you're like, I should be so good at piano, I've got it up, but you've never practiced before, put the bar on the floor. Look at pianos, right? Like so often, I think TikTok and just a few different things in our society and perfectionism, whatever, has made it so that you think you have to be good at something right away to be good and be talented, whatever. That's not how like any of that works, right? Like, what is this? Your friend Walt? That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Like, put the bar on the floor and be like, okay, what is the like literal bare minimum for this? Like, let's say your house is messy and it's like super cluttered. Right now, my office looks like a tornado ran through it because I've been making cards, I've been prepping for Cal. Like, I've cleaned other rooms and brought stuff in here. So I'm like, oh, so this is on my list today. I'm going to start with trash. If I think I've got to clean my entire room, that feels like a lot right now. But I'm just like, okay, I'm going to start with trash. I'm going to take all my cups out because I'm like the girl from Signs, much to her husband's chagrin. Then I'm going to put all my joy mail away. I do need to write 2 letters of joy mail today, but then I'm going to put that away. Like it's bite-sized pieces instead of like, I'm just going to clean. Like, do you see how it makes it so much smaller? Like if we can chunk things up and lower the bar of I'm not saying I got to do everything right now. Just saying after this, I'm just going to take the trash out of the room and take my cups down to the kitchen. Lower the bar. Whatever that looks like for you, do that. Another example is I do this thing where I love food. I forget to eat. I just it gets to be 8 p.m. and I'm like, okay, like I had lunch or I have snacks or whatever. Like I enjoy eating throughout the day, but like I have a husband though who is a full grown man and he needs food. And so he'll come home from work and be like, hey, what are we doing for dinner? I'm like, things, pizza, chicken. What do we have in the fridge? Like, and it gets to be 5 p.m. and I just lose track of time, right? So something we've started doing is Factor and I think like Ready Chef or Ready Meals, something like that. But it's like it comes in a bag and it has all the ingredients to do. And we're actually saving money by doing the ready meals. Yeah, I can't remember what they're called. But because I'm not having food go bad in the fridge because I keep forgetting to make food or put together a whole recipe. And so this week, so this is a real life, here's how I'm working through something. This week, because we have all these recipe cards now, because they give us all the ingredients we need to make the meal. So it just makes it super easy. Everything's already portioned out. I can just mix and match. Meals take anywhere from 10 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on the meal. And I love it and they're flavorful and it's great. So we're like, hey, we have all of this stuff. Let's go grocery shopping. Listener, I despise grocery shopping almost as much as I despise wearing coats. Um, it's just so loud. There's a lot of people. It's loud. There's a list. I always forget things. It's just a lot. And so we get all the things. We went grocery shopping together. It's great. Did we forget something? Yes. And then I'm like, okay, we're gonna meal prep. And then I had a gig. He had some work. And then I was like, oh, okay, we got time. Okay, I'll put the chicken in the air fryer. Does the recipe call for air fried chicken? No, but I'm like, let's just make all of the chicken we have and then we can portion it up over the week. And I'm like, oh, I can make the risotto. Does the risotto go with the chicken? In one recipe. So then I make up all the risotto, but then I've got uneven portions of things. And then yesterday, we're almost out of the risotto, but then I need to make sausage to go with some of the risotto. Like, it has felt more stressful. And then 2 nights ago, I was like, I just can't. So here's our option. We either get pizza, you make the dinner, or we do something else, or we just do peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he's like, let's grab pizza. Okay, cool. And sometimes he cooks too. But I am just realizing that even though I'm like, okay, my bar should be like way high and I should just be able to like whip up meals from scratch. Like I have friends that cook like nobody's business, and I'm like in awe. I don't know how my mom did it all those years. I don't. She still does. So many people. Go team, go! And if you have children, you get like 100 gold stars. Well done. I think my bar in this season needs to be lower, or just not even lower. This isn't a moral thing. It's just my access point to food. I think needs to be the ready-made meals where I can make it. I just need everything already portioned. I need it all in a bag. And like, yes, we recycle the stuff. And also Coca-Cola and Pepsi are doing more harm to our world than like anything. So I don't know what to do with that other than like I have some privilege. I'm using it. And also our society is built that's already broken and they're doing a lot on personal responsibility when also the businesses and conglomerates and billionaires are doing so much harm. You can't even think about it because you can't think straight about it. That's my bar that I think I need to lower and be honest about that. Because tonight I'm going to have some leftovers, but I'm like, we're missing a meal. I didn't make one of the meals or something like, I don't know where it went. I don't know. Right. So that's where I'm at. And I'm letting that be okay. It would be easy to shame myself and be like, I should, and y'all, I have done that for 15 years. How long have we been married? 16? 16 years. I have shamed and guilted myself over why can't I just make meals like everybody else? And why can't I just be good enough? Like, it is hard when you are trying your best in a lot of different things. And there are some things that come super easy for some people and really hard for you. Why does my room feel like it explodes all of the time? And I'm like, I just cleaned this, right? And so if you're like, oh my God, AJ, I resonate. And maybe yours is something else. That's okay. Maybe yours is like working out, showering, or homework or school or whatever. Okay. Then like if you struggle with it, then like let's acknowledge it. And then what do you need? What are the access points you need to lower the bar to be able to swim over it? And then reward yourself, celebrate. When we have meals, I'm like, oh my gosh, how great. I love this. I love that we're sitting down, we're doing dinner together. Because you know what? We're doing way more since we've done the ready meals, sitting down and eating together. And it's glorious. It's glorious. And I love it. It's lovely. But before, we weren't doing that as much. And we miss that. And we have that. Pros and cons all around. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing, transition time. I'm kind of jumping forward a little bit, but when we plan out our day, our life, our year, whatever, We're often, okay, I'm going to get this, and this done. But then we don't think, okay, I've got to drive there. Or we're like, it takes 20 minutes to get there. Cool. But what about the 10 minutes to get out of your house, grab your purse, grab your snacks, grab all your stuff, get in the car, and then the 10 minutes to find a parking spot and unload and then get to the place and then like walk in, take off your shoes, greet people, go to the bathroom, right? Like, okay, what about the time that we're going to be checking our phone and then we're going to lose 10 minutes? Or maybe we got to wait longer on the weight machines, or maybe traffic takes up more time. Sometimes we schedule out our day as if it's a dream world and nothing will go wrong. And then we get angry or frustrated when things go wrong. My friends, if we can remember that we live in a world where things happen and there are transitions, things get easier. I had a planner for a while, and then next year I'm going to try it without. I haven't tried it without for 6 years, so I will keep you updated on how that goes. But it's from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and I can write out hour by hour what I'm doing. And sometimes I'm like transition time, because I was like, okay, this. And I was like, how did I not get this things done? It's like, oh, I spent 2 hours in the car today driving between things. I didn't have that in my thing. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I don't suck. Maybe it's because of this other thing. Does that make sense? Like so often we take the pressure and the guilt and it like compounds and it exacerbates the shame or guilt we might already be feeling on why something is hard or difficult. So think about your transition time. And if you're like me and you struggle with transitions, like I saw something the other day and it's like, you struggle with getting into the shower or getting to the car or getting to bed. And I'm like, oh, it's me. I am. Side note, back in, we were in San Antonio and I was struggling with my mental health a lot and I was newly sober and I was a hot mess express for no shortage of the term. I think we've talked about this, but I brought up to Jared this meme I saw about doom boxes, and I was like, "This is stupid." All these ADHD memes, and I was like they think they're special. And I'm like, everybody struggles with this, and he's like, "No, AJ, just people with ADHD and you." And I'm like, "What are the odds?" And he's like, "There's not odds. It's a circle." And and he was right, but I think what was I going with that? When we can acknowledge that some things are hard, when we're like, oh yeah, I struggle with this, so does everybody else. Maybe not everybody else does, but also if more than you struggles with it, maybe there are ideas that might help. That if we're suffering, we don't A, have to suffer alone. B, other people have probably put more thought and effort into this and have some ideas on how to overcome. So, one of the things I'm doing lately is I just ordered a brick, which feels like a fancy human way of telling my phone to not. But basically, it's a physical thing, and you tap your phone and it locks it. So on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So I lately have been scrolling way more than I have in the past. Like there's been a few habits that I've let drop by the wayside, and I feel different, right? I talk about waking up in the morning, going for my run on or working out. On the days I don't do that, I feel not like me. I don't feel as good. And so this isn't like I'm better than you because I get up. Somebody said that to me once, and they're like, "Oh, you think you're so great because you get up at 5 a.m." I was like, "No, I think I'm not great when I don't like I feel not great when I would like I feel better." But I know friends who are night owls. I have friends that go to the gym after work, and that like boggles my mind. I can't even, I don't understand. Is that 5 p.m.? No, no, no. 5 a.m.? Yeah. And then like, I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I'm fresh air. Does that make sense? So like, look for the things that can give you more space in your brain and your body and your capacity, not just what you think you should. I should just walk into the shower. Okay, cool. Well, you're not. So, do you need your clothes right on the toilet so you can change after? Do you need lotion that doesn't feel gross and yucky? Do you need a warm, like a towel warmer? Right? Like there's this, do you need a robe that's really soft and fluffy to step into immediately after so you can get warm before putting on your clothes? Do you need a loofah that's not scratchy? Do you want to run the water for a bit so it's hot before you get it? Do you see how there's just these little shifts that you can do that make life a little bit easier? my mentor has a thing. She's like, find the easier, softer way. How can you be more kind and gentle to yourself? For a hot minute, I was like, I don't deserve kindness and gentleness. Y'all, this is like within the last 3 years, I've been having this conversation of like, I'm not worthy of kindness and gentleness. And it's like, I teach this, but sometimes it's hard for us to understand. So if you're like, yeah, but AJ, you're da da da. No, like we're all in this together. We're all learning this on deeper and deeper layers, right? You get something, and if you've worked with me one on one, you'll hear me say sometimes like, now you're asking the right question. Do you see how that's a different question? Like there's fixing a problem, but there's navigating a solution because it's not a problem. There's a barrier. Something's here that's making it sticky and hard. How can we walk with ourselves to make it easier, right? Like if a kid's struggling with tying their shoes, we might put Velcro shoes on them. Eventually, they probably also the only shoes I have that tie are my running shoes. So, you know, I don't know where I'm going with that. Okay, next, also, also let the record show that alongside the it takes time for us to learn things, like Sims, like sim characters, when they're learning a new skill, they suck. They suck hard. There's they're like I think even sometimes the Sims throw a fit because of how much they're like, I'm terrible at this. I don't want to do it. And like keep practicing, keep going. You got to make me $1,000 in this art or whatever you. But are we willing to treat ourselves the same? Are we willing to suck? Are we willing to be not good at something and practice and put in the hours of practicing? My art journals from 10 years ago, wow, wow, terrible. And also good. I was learning, I was growing. And I'm so grateful for me being willing to put in all those hours, thousands of hours at this point of practice and learning. And still to this day, every day I have a meeting. I like take my sketchbook and I'm practicing, I'm drawing new things and I'm learning and I'm listening. So, like, how are we practicing and walking alongside ourselves and are allowing ourselves to change and grow? Change is not bad. We're learning and it's okay. Like, so many people think you've got to stop learning after high school, but like, why can't we be open to change? Right. Um, so along those lines is Alto, like allow yourself to be a human. And I I had this conversation with a friend the other day. I know this might sound all meandering, but it's not. I promise. So just sit with me. Just imagine we're on the couch together or we're on a wall. It's all good. About being human. And sometimes I hate being a human. And I don't know if that plays into why I love being a mermaid or a fairy or these different creatures I get to be on occasion a dragon. Um, Sometimes being a human is really hard. Is it just hard? And it's like, oh, but we could be elves, we could have nice things, we could, da da da. But our human bodies, with this spirit we are given, is an experience for us to have. And whatever you believe, I don't actually care. Because here's the thing, we're here. We're here now in this time. You are listening, you are alive, and you have a body, and you have soul, spirit, essence. You have a personality. You've got more in there than just flesh, right? You have a nervous system that gets fried sometimes and needs sleep and needs food. So, why are we treating our bodies like machines when they're not? You may have heard me talk about HALTO, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, overwhelmed. Some people add an S for sick. If you call it illness, it's like, it's always on there, AJ. But when we're hungry, you're not you when you're hungry. It's accurate. Like when we're angry, it colors our actions. When we're lonely, it colors our actions. When we're tired, you're like, Adrian, I've been tired for years. I understand. We live in a poison system. We've talked about this. The waters are poison. We live in a capable, like capitalist, white supremacist, like patriarchal construct. We understand. And how are we tending ourselves through this? How are we dreaming up a better world together? This is how we build new, better things, right? We've grown, we've learned. Like the world has changed, and it's changed because people have vision of something better. So we get to dream up something better and we get to walk alongside the people who are creating good stuff in the world. Does that make sense? Like me showing up in joy and trusting that this is what I was made for has rippled into you having a seed of like, maybe I can have this too, right? But it's very easy, would be easy, has been easy for me Joy is not important. Nothing actually matters. We're all going to die. Like, this is all just worthless. And it makes everything worse. Everything worse. My life gets worse. Relationships get worse. Friendships get worse. Just everything sucks when I have that lens of like, nothing's actually worthwhile. Like, what's the point? But when I'm like, there's goodness in the world, my soul is good, spirit has my back, the divine flows through us all. Like, the world is full of possibilities. I can see there are things that need to be fixed, and there are people doing good things. And I'm like, let's go, let's rumble, let's do some soul work. Do you see the energetic difference? Nothing has changed except for my perception of how I want to show up in the world and what I'm looking for. So that's it. You're still a human. I know we can wear pointy ears and wings all day, and yet we're still human. We've got to take care of our bodies. And like, if you're like, don't tell me to work out, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, if you are hungry, eat some food, drink some water. If you struggle with water, get some meal, drink some lemonade, whatever, but hydrate. So many of us are walking around dehydrated and angry and exhausted. So when we tend to our nervous systems and actually tap into our literal energetic field of our bodies, not even talking about energetic spiritually, but just our bodies, we feel kind of fried and like, like I'm not strong. Okay, like, have we allowed our bodies to get into our parasympathetic nervous system like in a hot minute? If not, something I suggest I do with my clients a lot is take 3 big breaths with audible exhales if you want. Unlock your jaw, just like stretch your jaw and your body to like let that air flow, because you can't do that when you're running from a bear, because our bodies are hardwired. I know you know this, you've heard me talk about this, but we're covering all our bases today. Okay, so treat yourself like a toddler if that's what you need, because there's days that I do that when I'm getting really itchy and I go to grab my corn cob holders and I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. I just need to go to bed. And you know what? This is the 3rd time I'm recording this podcast episode. This is my 3rd time through. First time I was on a walk and I had all the ideas, but it was loud outside, so I just recorded it. Last night, I was like, oh, hey, I've got some time. Let me record this. But I was so tired. I was like, I just really want to go to bed. And the whole podcast was me saying these things, but a very tired version of me. And I ended it and I was like, that was terrible. Now I'm going to go to bed. And I was like, I'll try again in the morning. And I just finished my episode with Zoe, which will come out next week. And I feel excited to talk about this. So the energy is different. So it is okay to change and go to bed or listen to your body and do what you need. Okay. 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 Enjoy the journey. You know how I think about video games? Like, our life is like a video game. Every base I'm at, I think of it like a video game level. Like, there's things we need to do, see, have fun in, explore. And maybe you're like, I don't move. So like my life is just one thing all the time. Okay. So you know how in some games there's like side quests and there's no main quest. There's just like you get to explore lots of little things like Disney Dreamlight Valley. I guess they kind of got a big overarching thing. But there's lots of little things. Like, what if you looked at your life like a side quest of just, oh, what adventures am I gonna have? Some of my favorite humans in the whole damn world are side quest humans. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? What? You were a tea maker and then you were a chocolatier in Belgium, and then now you run events and like also you studied with the monks, like, and then you raised kids and then now you just adopt like people. I'm like, I don't even understand half of what you just said, but I love it. Like, what if we just were more open to not just having one purpose, but like, what if our purpose was to live fully where we are, right? Like when I started my business as Mermaid Harmony, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a mermaid and all this stuff. But then it unfolded and it unfurled. And then I did fairies and then I did henna and then red tents and then that's expanded. And then here we are now, where right now I'm not doing red tents. And it's something I'm kind of thinking about. What does that look like in the future, in the new year? And I don't have an answer yet. But if I was like, wait, no, but I'm just Mermaid Harmony. Do you see how if I was like, this is my purpose is to make people happy, bring people joy in this specific way. Look at how much I would have lost out on because I wasn't willing to be like, let me try something new. Let me see if this works. Let me be an explorer. Let me experiment and see. And there's been things that have worked and things that haven't. And that's okay because it's all information. Does that make sense? Well, Okay. Try to say stuff. Overall, I want to invite you to give yourself some grace, please. So much of our struggles with ourselves is because we keep saying, I should be able to do this. But if we are willing to pause and say, I'm not currently doing this thing, what's why? Like, can we put on our researcher hat? Because your inner critic's going to have a heyday anyways. So why don't you put them to work and be like, okay, Barbara, why is this hard for me? What's coming up? And your inner critic might be like, well, it's because you suck and you never do anything. Okay, thank you. What's the next part? And it's like, and then you might hear another part pop up that's like, it's because I'm really overwhelmed and I'm really nervous that it's never going to end. I was like, okay, well, dishes do never end. That is true. But there's only 10 dishes here. So maybe we can like watch a movie or put on gloves while we do it. Right. And then celebrate the small things, the progress. And I know that might feel silly because we're like, we're supposed to celebrate the big things. And my friends, how often do you actually celebrate the big things? And how often do those come around? Because if we're only celebrating the big things, then we only have these like major milestone moments. And then years could go by where you don't celebrate yourself at all. Like starting a book, starting a project, like trying something new, like, oh, I tried this. This didn't work. Great information. Like, how cool. Like, what if we think about this as like we're going on a hike, we are exploring our life and the richness that abounds around us. And some things I'm going to like and some things I don't. When I go on a hike, sometimes I love it. Sometimes I really hate all the mud. Sometimes I love it. And sometimes I run into a face full of spider webs and I'm like, oh, I hate this so much. Sometimes life is great. Sometimes we lose a job and then we're like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And then something else happens. Or we're like, hey, this is really great. Oh, I have to make this choice and where are we going to live? Like there's good and bad everywhere. But if we can be like, this is part of the whole experience and not a remark or commentary on me as a human. Oh, do you see how energetically that's so different? One is an experience you're walking yourself through alongside the divine, alongside the people alongside you. And the other is you like prodding yourself along, telling yourself that you're terrible the whole way through. If you're on the podcast, you can't see my face, but I'm giving you the skeptical look of like, that's a choice. You can make that. But also, it's not too late to be like, that's not how I want to live anymore. I don't want to do it like that. It's never too late to change. And if you're like, well, it's too late, I'm already here. If it was too late, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. If it was too late, you wouldn't be curious. If it was too late, you wouldn't be waking up at 2 a.m. wondering if there's a different way to do things. If it was too late, you wouldn't be like curious and growing and learning and reading and listening and like dreaming. It's not too late. It's never too late. Literally never too late. So here's my invitation and question for you. Whether you journal this, whether you email me this, whether you just think about it on your rest of your walk or your drive today, what does more kindness and gentleness look like as you're trying to do the things you want to do? What does lenses of understanding for yourself look like in your life right now? If you were your best friend and like you could step outside of yourself, like, and your best friend was where you're at right now, what would you say to them? We get so mean to ourselves. We wouldn't say those same things to our best friend. You're like, I would. Okay, cool, cool, cool. But then you'd also tell your best friend that they're lovely and great. And also that they need to get their shit together and like, let's clean the room. Like, we're gonna order pizza, we're gonna clean this room, we're gonna get it done. You got this. Like, yep, you're messy. And also like, we got this. Come on. Does that make sense? Like, even if like I'm sarcastic, like, well, whatever. But like at the end of the day, you'd still be supportive. Does that make sense? So often we leave out the like sass of sassafras to ourselves and we're just an ass. So if you're like, I'm sassy, I'm sassafras, cool, great. But keep all of it. Keep that playful spirit, even if you're going to be like nudging yourself. And we can work on the like angry nudging later because that's our inner critic at work. We don't, that's not actually conducive to growth. There's been studies. It's okay. But start kindness and gentleness. And if you're like, I can't have that, what is understanding? What does best friend looking at ourselves look like? Right? So here's what you're going to do next. Go drink some water or hydrate in some way, shape, or form. Let's have a snack. When was the last time you ate? And let's go outside. Let's breathe for like 1 minute. And if you're like, I don't need to breathe, I don't need any air, just rest. Sometimes when we pause and we slow down and we just, oh, 3 breaths, and you're like, it doesn't do it, just try it. Because you'll notice your body goes, okay. And then I was, what's the next right thing? I'm gonna do that. And if you're like, okay, this is good, but like, what's next? There's 2 options. One, you can go into the Embodied in Joy Facebook group. It's free. And the Joy Challenge from September is there. There's 7 different videos that help you actually implement joy in real time with tangible tools. There's no fluff. There's just like, how are we using this? What are tools? Like grab your journal, grab your water, grab your coloring buddies, because we like dive in. And there's also worksheets and there's audio versions. So if you're like, hey, I want to listen on my walk, totally cool. You can do that. Second option is I am currently enrolling for I have 4 more spots in soul support and 4 more spots for subscription spots. So soul support is the deeper dive of 6 months one-on-one together. We have WhatsApp support, we've got video calls, all of that jazz. And then the subscription is kind of like you go get your nails done once a month, or you go get a massage every month. Your card auto charges every month, and I check in. So like, don't worry, you're not gonna like rack up 5 months and then be like, wait. And so you have a call every month or twice a month or 3 times a month, however much you want. But then I'm not kind of keeping track of major goals. It's like you come in, you're like, you go to the chiropractor and you're like, hey, my neck is tight today, or my wrist is hurting. It's kind of like that. Like, hey, can we talk about this today? Or hey, I'd really like a card reading, or can we do energy work? Or I just need meditation. Or I just need to worry about like you get your kind of tune up however you'd like. So if you'd like extra support as you're navigating these different things, let me know. I'm currently onboarding. I've got space. Depending on when you're listening this, my doors might be closed, but I usually always have space for 1 more. So send me a message. Let's chat. I'm so proud of you. Sing your soul song and have a marvelous day, my friends.